This is Sam Kirby, host of Cinema Stories. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Do you need some extra motivation in your life? Are you looking to be inspired? If so, then look no further than the Good God Company.
At the Good God Company, their mission is to create and clothe all loving humans with their unique, inspiring, and beautifully designed t-shirts.
All of the products from the Good God Company are equally designed to motivate you and improve your life. From their mugs, workout tanks, to eye-appealing shirts and sweatshirts.
Learn more about their renowned products by visiting thegoodgodcompany.com. That's thegoodgodcompany.com.
The Good God Company is proud to support Public House Media. The Good God Company. I'm feeling good.
This is John Lauder, host of The Cheap Seats here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, The Cheap Seats, where we talk about sports from the fans' perspective. A new show comes out every Monday. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of The Cheap Seats. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
How's it going, everybody?
Hey guys!
Coffee with Keith.
And Katie on Public House Media.
Brought to you by
The Good God Company.
Check them out at thegoodguycompany.com and check out Public House Media's website at the PH House, PH Media.
PH Media.
PHmedia.com.
It's really something we should know.
You got us again. It's Thursday at 7:30, so of course it's time for coffee. We have our coffee with us. Hope you have your coffee with you. That was a good clink.
That was a good clink.
You got to take it quick.
Yeah. Hi,
Hi,
Al.
Al. Thanks for joining us.
And Ben, probably.
And Ben as well. Only Al.
Only Al.
Only Al's watching. And hi to Clara,
And Clara.
if you're watching, and Annabelle, if you're watching.
Our favorite
Those
Plum
are-
Pup girls.
Yep, those Ben and Elle's kids, for those of you that are not aware.
You haven't been paying attention.
Anyways, Katie, what is
Yes.
the title of our show today?
The title is Close Encounters. There are strange animals in Chicago that you would not think would be in Chicago, like coyotes.
Coyotes.
Yes. Being from rural Wisconsin, I'm very used to there being coyotes. Not a big deal. But when I park my car on the street at 11 o'clock at night and I see a coyote using the crosswalk by the mayor's house, it's a little disconcerting.
Was there really a coyote by
Yeah.
Wow.
And he used the crosswalk. He just crossed the street using the crosswalk.
Very domesticated coyote. Are you sure it wasn't like a large cat? Because there are cats that there are like 4 cats. I don't know.
Have you ever seen a coyote?
Have you ever? Okay, I'm just saying. There are 4 cats that
There's
aren't
no
quite
way
strays,
you
but they
could-
live around there.
You could
David,
not
thanks for joining us.
mistake a cat for a coyote.
They're both not huge animals.
One is very dog-like.
Yeah. Are you sure it wasn't a dog?
It wasn't a dog. I know a coyote when I see one.
Katie saw a coyote. I don't buy it.
One time by the mayor's house, and then one time when I was walking to my car at 11 o'clock at night in this big parking lot, the WGN parking lot.
She was on the phone with me when she spotted
On
it.
the phone.
I remember.
I remember my hands were full, so I had no way to defend myself. But I grew up in rural Wisconsin, and I know that they are more afraid of us than we are of them.
I was so sure I saw a coyote once, I shot it. And then when I got close to it, it had turned back into my neighbor's dog. That's from The Office.
We're way off track today, guys.
No, we're doing well. So Katie claims that she saw a coyote. Katie, what other weird animals are there in Chicago that we have seen?
Well,
She
I
has a
looked
whole
it up.
list of them.
I looked it up, and there are an estimated 2,000 coyotes in the city of Chicago.
1,000.
2,000.
All right. The likelihood of you seeing a coyote, I think.
I think it's pretty good.
All right.
And
I'll buy it.
and they're you can't move them because they'll come back,
Yeah.
and or the place you move them to, the existing packs will kill them,
Oh.
and you can't kill them because then a new pack will just move in. So we just have to deal with it.
You just got to deal with the coyotes.
You gotta deal with it.
All right.
All right. Also, our geese population is increasing.
What's so odd about geese in Chicago? It's the Midwest.
It's in the winter, though. Canada geese usually go to like fields, agricultural centers, and now they're coming to Chicago, and they're estimating that there are tens of thousands of Canada geese in Chicago
Tens of thousands.
when there did not used to be.
So they're really not Canadian geese. They're Chicago geese.
They are citified geese.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, as a kind of a comparison, there are 17,000 to 20,000 coyotes in the northern half of Wisconsin.
Wow.
Keith and I got freaked out by coyotes at my parents' house
We did.
one day.
Katie has, coyotes by her house, as she said, like rural Wisconsin, out in the middle of the woods. So you're, in the middle of the night, you hear a bunch of things. The animals in the woods are talking to each other. You hear the bullfrogs. You hear everything, and you hear the yip 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 of the coyotes, and they're yipping and they're talking to each other. And then, so of course, we start yipping back at them.
Only logical.
Why? Of course you would.
Yeah.
And so they're going yip yip yip, and we're going oh 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 oh,
Just like that.
just like that. And then really close, we hear oh,
Like a serious.
yeah,
Like
that did not come from us.
no.
So
we ran.
We went right inside.
To Keith's credit, he did stay behind me. He didn't just shove me out of the way to get to the house first.
Just, did you hear that? I don't have to be faster than it. I just have to be faster than you.
Yes. It was terrifying.
It was something else.
And when it's nighttime and it's just two of you and you are not armed, it's a little disconcerting.
Yeah,
Even though you know that they're not going to mess with you.
right. But
It's just that.
you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and same with rats in Chicago. We've been fortunate enough not to have a rat problem where we live. However, we do know that there are numerous amount of rats in Chicago, and they like to live in the dumpster
Yeah.
in our courtyard.
Yeah.
And I went downstairs to take the garbage out, and I hear a rattling around in a dumpster. And I take a step back, and it came out of the dumpster.
Ah!
It comes out of the dumpster, and then it like scurries away. I'm like, oh! I heard it in there. I was just going to go to a different dumpster. I'm like, it's in there. It's kind of trapped in there. It was not trapped in there. It knew how to get out. So
We don't take the garbage out after dark anymore.
David says, trying to watch. Signal is bad where I am.
Oh, boo!
Well, we got that message. You got that message across to us, so you must be doing all right.
Yeah.
So yeah, the rats are kind of. So now every time I go to take the garbage out in the dumpster, I got that. It's a big dumpster, so it has the big.
Like a normal dumpster.
So I like go boom boom. I like kind of rattle the top for a second, and I'm like, to then see if I hear scurrying around in there, and then I'll just go to a different dumpster. That has not happened to me yet, though. Since I've seen the rats a while back, I have no longer seen rats.
I haven't seen them since I stopped going out when it's dark. I only go out in the middle of the day, or I make Keith do it. Speaking of rats, pigeons. There are a lot of pigeons.
There are a lot of pigeons in Chicago.
Apparently, no one knows how many pigeons are in Chicago. They estimate that there are about 1 million in New York, though.
I can see that.
So I'm not sure how they were able to estimate it for New York and not here. But I'm thinking, here's my logic. If there are 1 million pigeons for 9 million people, then there must be 300,000 pigeons for 3 million people.
Okay.
We must have a third of it.
A third of the pigeons that New York has.
Yes,
because
if
we are
the
a
human
third,
population is
because we're the
distributed-
third of the population of New York.
Yes.
So the pigeon population is a third of the population of New York.
That's what I'm going with.
Fair enough.
They have 10,000 feathers.
Pigeons do?
Yeah.
Wow.
I learned a lot of very interesting things today.
And other cool thing about where Katie grew up, I saw maybe a deer around my house. I grew up in more of like a residential neighborhood. So, I would see a deer outside. Every once in a while it would make its way onto our area and it would be walking down the street. Katie can have 20 deer in her parents' yard at a time. And it's no big deal.
My dad is a deer whisperer.
Yep. Well, he
feeds them.
He feeds them, yeah.
That helps.
Well, he fed other animals, but then the deer started getting used to it. So then and your dad will come out, and the deer know it's him. They'll just like walk up to it. It's like he's feeding pets, kind of.
Yeah.
It's something else.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, it is.
But I love all little animals. I'm not.
She goes crazy for him.
I love little squirrels. I love pigeons. And it doesn't have to be like Keith likes big cats.
Like big cats.
He likes the big cats.
I like
Fuzz
really
is
big
losing
cats.
his mind.
I like really big cats. Speaking of animals in the city.
Oh boy. Oh, we're wild. She's wild. Almost rabid.
This is another animal in the city.
We put his little bow tie collar on him so you could see it. Isn't he so handsome with his bow tie on?
This is a South African didgeridoo, and we got him a couple years ago. They actually live to be very old. This guy is 900 years old. He's like Yoda.
How do you know that?
Because we know.
His rings?
Yep. This is a South African didgeridoo. And we were lucky, and we are lucky enough to have one here in Chicago, aren't we?
And
You
who
little
will wear a
didgeridoo.
nice blue collar.
And his name is Miko. Miko, the South African didgeridoo.
And he is thrilled. He is thrilled to be joining us today.
Aren't you? Yes. You don't have many of these in Chicago. We're very lucky.
Yes.
And not many of them have been captured on camera, so you're very lucky to be seeing this right now.
You are.
This is a first. This is really special.
Yes.
Look at this. Look at the size of his paws and his ferociousness. Alright, see you later.
That was the special guest appearance by
Miko, the South African didgeridoo. And he's back. He's back.
Oh, and he's back. Hello, Miko.
Look at that fierce face. Look at that fierce face.
Oh, poor little guy.
Good job, Miko.
But I like little animals. I just like to watch what they're doing. There was a bird one day. It was the most adorable little bird. It's just a normal, little brown bird.
And it was just sitting there.
It was just sitting
on the sidewalk.
The sidewalk, and that was weird. It should have flown off, and
Right.
I was worried about it.
So what is Katie's response to watching this bird? It's a live bird. It looks to be just fine, but it's just sitting there.
But it's sitting there, and I'm worried that it has a broken
It usually
wing or
should fly
something.
away from. So Katie's solution: she picks up a stick and she pokes it. She doesn't really poke it. But she did pick up a stick.
What I was
and
trying to do,
she kind of lifted up at it. She didn't
I
jab
didn't
it.
want to touch it and get the oils from my hands on it, And so I took a small stick and I was trying to go underneath it
to see if it would like get up and walk
it up.
or something like that.
And Keith pointed out that I had just started poking at it.
Just started poking at a random animal with a stick. It was fine. It was just a very tame bird that didn't mind people poking it with a stick, apparently.
Yep.
So, Katie likes to poke animals with sticks.
If I can get
But
close
who
enough.
doesn't? Who doesn't like to poke things with sticks?
It's
Just,
true. I had a favorite squirrel in college. We had the same squirrel in the same tree all 4 years.
She told. I doubt it was the same squirrel all 4
It
years.
was the same squirrel.
But there was a squirrel that lived right outside of the theater building.
Yep.
In that same tree. Whether or not it was the same squirrel, who knows?
Yep.
Probably not. But there was a squirrel that always lived in the same tree. And what was his name, Katie?
George.
George. Katie comes to me and
I
she says,
said-
Keith, I met a new friend today. His name is George, and he likes to collect nuts. I'm like, Katie, is this George a human being? No, it's not.
He knew right away I can't make people
knew right.
friends.
I'm like, Katie, you don't have any friends. It was actually really funny. I have seen George
Yes.
numerous occasions.
Yes.
And what would you know? We went back on campus. We were back on campus at some point a couple months ago, and sure enough, there he was, the exact same squirrel.
The exact same one. I know by the look in his eyes that was George. He knew it.
Okay. What do you think? What do you think, George? If that's truly the same squirrel, what do you think George is thinking? Where has Katie gone?
Right? I'm very concerned.
You're concerned that George is out there looking for you?
Yes.
I don't think he is.
Hopefully the new theater people are taking care of him.
Maybe. Anyways.
Have we rambled on enough?
I think we've had a very pleasant conversation about different animals. You were lucky enough to see a South African didgeridoo
Named
Miko.
Yes.
And I don't know where he is right now. There he is. Hi, Miko.
Anyway, we've come to my favorite part of Thursday's show, the name game. Or Stump Keith.
Ain't gonna happen.
Keith, I got 3 names for you.
Let's hear him.
You have to tell me where these guys went to college.
Okay.
Mark Tauscher.
Mark Tauscher.
Mm-hmm.
I think I know where he went to high school.
Okay.
I don't know where he went to high school. He's from Central Wisconsin, and he went to Wisconsin, University of Wisconsin.
He did go to Wisconsin.
Yep.
Curly Lambeau.
Curly Lambeau went to Notre Dame.
Well done.
Lambeau Field.
Norbert Hayes.
Norbert Hayes.
Mm-hmm. He played for 2 years.
For whom?
The Packers.
The Packers.
In 1922 and 1923.
He went to Northwestern.
Marquette.
Marquette. Okay.
Yeah.
No longer has a football team. I think they might have a club team.
So, no.
The South African didgeridoo is drinking out of the water cup.
Drink my coffee.
Get
So-
over here. I'm
so
going to
Keith,
get him.
What did all 3 of those guys have in common?
I captured the South African didgeridoo once again. What do they all have in common?
Yes.
Mark Tauscher.
You,
They all grew up in Wisconsin.
they were all born in Wisconsin.
All born in Wisconsin.
Can you tell me where they are from in Wisconsin?
Mark Tauscher from like Auburndale,
Wikipedia says Marshfield,
Marshfield.
but I
Okay.
think he went to Auburndale or Stratford,
Auburndale or Stratford.
which is close to my hometown, about half an hour away.
Curly Lambeau, is he from Green Bay? Or did he get to... He's from Green Bay. He went to high school in Green Bay.
Yep, he's from Green Bay. And how about Norbert Hayes, who played for the Packers from 1922 to 1923?
Went to Marquette, so I'll say he's from West Allis.
Takana.
Kakana! No way! Go Kakana, my hometown.
Keith's hometown.
Yep.
So there you go. I thought that was very interesting. I was looking for guys from Wisconsin.
Kakana is not the hometown of Miko because he's from South Africa. Because he's a South African didgeridoo.
Do you even know what a didgeridoo is? I don't.
You don't know what a didgeridoo is?
Sounds...
This is what it is.
This is it.
This is it. This is a didgeridoo.
Hey, buddy.
Didgeridoo is also a popular musical instrument. We go.
Is it actually an animal at all?
Yes, we have one right here on camera. The South African didgeridoo.
And you're
All
thinking,
right.
oh my, I know.
He's been doing pretty well right now.
Yes, the he
All right.
is getting antsy. And we have come to probably the conclusion of the show.
I think I did pretty well, but Mark Tauscher and Curly Lambeau were pretty easy ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had to throw Norbert Hayes in just because he was from Kakana.
Because from Kakana.
And knowing your dad might have been one
My
that
dad might
you
have
had
known
to
who it
know.
was. Yep. Okay. Whoa. Easy. The South African didgeridoo is getting wild. We have to end the show. This has been Coffee with Keith.
And Katie on Public House Media.
We hope you've all had a great week. Have a great weekend. And we will see you for more coffee on Monday at 7:30 as always. So, take care. Have a fun time. And our South African didgeridoo wishes you a very happy weekend. Bye! Bye, everyone.
Bye.